Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to One Piece episode 589 review. So, of course, before I get started, look down in the description below for the link to this week's episode of One Piece Official, and the Facebook fan page down below. Number one. Number two is, of course, obviously, alright? No Japanese corporation, network, or company has any claim to this video. None whatsoever. The thumbnail is an original photo which belongs to none of these companies. None. The audio, I'm speaking and they don't own my voice, obviously. You guys own my voice. And the visuals are me. You guys do not own me. This video follows the rules and regulations that are set by YouTube. That simple. And that's going to be, you know, that's the way it has to be. Now, this episode of One Piece, well, basically, all you have to know, all you really have to know is, like, four things, alright? Number one, Caesar Clown. Number two, the kidnapping of children. Number three, the worst generation. And number four, the story of Brownbeard. Now, first of all, number one, Caesar Clown. We finally get to see his face. It took us like 2 episodes. Like, from the moment he transformed from that like weird pink mask to like an actual humanoid gas blue guy, it took us like 2 episodes to see his face. And not until the end of the second episode do we finally see it. So it took us quite a bit of time. And I mean, I guess people like the fact that, actually, I've noticed how whenever he comes out, there's like a new OST for Caesar Clown. It's like a eerie, it's like a very eerie, ominous soundtrack that goes along with Caesar Clown whenever he comes out, with like a little techno vibe. I think, I'm not too sure exactly. I forget. But people like the fact that he has the Frieza voice, or if you're a Bleach fan, then he has the Mayuri voice. You know, that same voice actor, someone who's really evil and like. Well, evil, sinister, malicious, and yada yada yada. And then he has that laugh, like that weird fucking like he's gargling on cock. It's that kind of laugh. So like there's too much jizz in his throat. Like he just can't get it out. And I mean, we'll see what he's capable of. Well, no, you guys will see, because I already know, because I read the manga. But just for reference, note that he's a scientist, okay? He's a scientist, and his current bounty right now is 300 million. He was a former colleague of Dr. Vegapunk, and he was responsible for an explosion that occurred in the island 4 years ago. He was responsible. And during the Brownbeard story, Brownbeard faced how, well, like, it was Vegapunk. No. It wasn't Vegapunk. It was Caesar Clown. Because Caesar Clown, whereas Vegapunk is actually a good person, Caesar Clown is the polar opposite. He's evil. We have darkness and then we have light. That's the way it is. And Caesar Clown, he's the darkness. So, and we see this in this episode where he actually, one of the guys who's Brownbeard's subordinates, he comes to him and is like, Brownbeard was captured. These pirates took our clothes. We need your help. He's like, hey, well, I'll go take care of Brownbeard. Don't worry about that. Let me go heal you. And his quote-unquote healing is gonna put your ass in a fucking room. And I'm going to torture you and I'm going to experiment on you, see how you feel when I apply this certain gas, and then, and then he's dead. The guy is dead. He's gone. So, Caesar Clown. That's Caesar Clown for you. And his assistant, Monet, basically, the fact that she doesn't even flinch when Caesar Clown's killing all these dudes, okay, fine. Alright, and note real quick, Caesar Clown, he's working for somebody, because at the beginning of the episode, he puts down a Denden Mushi, and then he says to Monet, "We just got orders from somebody to kill the Straw Hats, kill the G5 Marines, and kill Firefox Kinemon." Now, the question is, who the fuck is Firefox Kinemon? He is the Samurai Kinemon, Firefox. Why it's called Firefox? I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but you guys will see. You guys will see why it's called Firefox Kinemon. And oh yeah, and Law left the actual room too. So basically, like, that's Caesar Clown's part in a nutshell. That's Caesar Clown. or as they say in the Japanese, Caesar crown. Like, I don't know how they say crown. It's clown, but no, they say crown. It's very, well, actually, no, I do know that in Japanese lingo, the L and the R sound very similar, which is why, even though it's clown, they say crown. And that's why in the in the original dub of One Piece, you know, 4Kids, instead of being Zoro, it was Zolo. I have no idea why the L's and R's switch like that. It's confusing sometimes. It really is. So, but fuck it. All right, you know, like, you know, Luffy, no, Rufy. It's like you have some guys in One Piece who are like Rufy-kun, and it's like Jinbei. He does this all the fucking time. Rufy-kun. It's like, it's Luffy, bro. Like I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. Even Frankie too, I think, does that. You know, the whole time, like, you know, fuck it. We are completely sidetracking. So that's number one. The whole entire Caesar Clown thing. That part I'll give a good. It was good because, you know, Caesar Clown, he's a new villain. We see that he actually has quite a bit of influence over his subordinates, which he does, in fact. We get hints at his powers, and we should know what they are, but we get hints at his powers. Because during the actual Brownbeard story, he talks about how the poison that was lingering in the atmosphere, he was able to purify that. And notice how he himself, Caesar Clown, is kind of like floating as like a weird cloudish blue gas person. So they hint at his power a little bit here. They do. They really do. So that's number one. And of course he talks about how Firefox Kinemon, the goal right now is to kill, not even like capture, to kill the G5, Straw Hat, and Kinemon. So, but yeah, that's it. That's number one. Number two, very simple. Smoker, he talks to his boys, you know, his Marines, about how, no, my bad. Tashigi is the one who mentions the kidnapping of children in the surrounding island area. And then then Smoker, of course, being a Marine, being a person of intellect, he puts two and two together. He's like, yeah, well, we just saw kids, a lot of kids, on an island where there should be no people there at all, but we see a lot of kids, and something's off here. All right, so the hypothesis, and they're not too sure, but the hypothesis is that the kids that they saw were actually ones who were being captured or being kidnapped, and the G5 Marines were the ones who were sectioned to, you know, post this and, you know, write articles about this and notify the other Marines about this, Marine HQ. But someone has been covering up. That's the hypothesis. The hypothesis is that there is a traitor amongst the G5 Marines, and Smokers knows. Well, you know, it's not any of his boys, because his boys they're fucking retards. They don't do, you know, like they're burly ass dudes who just, they go in there, guns ahoy, axes ahoy. So they're not smart to actually, you know, continuously alter reports of kidnapping of children from islands. So yeah, he knows it's not any of his boys. It's someone else who's a G5 Marine. And I want to say shit, but I can't. But right there, I'll give that part also good, because yeah, it lets you know that there's something else other than, you know, Caesar Clown being evil as fuck shit. There's side story stuff, and the side story stuff that involves the children, and then like why are these children here? Because the children, they explain how, well, someone told them, like, yeah, like someone said that we were sick, and they took us away from our parents because they didn't want the parents to get the same illness. But now it's like, not quite. No. You were kidnapped and taken here. You were kidnapped and taken here. And Caesar Clown, being, you know, Caesar Clown, he's doing something to you. Why? Because some of these kids, as far as we know, all right? Because people, I know some guys who haven't watched the anime. They're saying that, okay, well, some of these kids belong to Elbaf, the giant home. But when you think about it, it's like, is Elbaf really close by? Like, I don't know. That's that Foxy shit. But you know, just think about it. So I'll leave it at that. So I probably give it good. And you know, it does add weight to the actual arc itself because there's other shit to be involved. Because there's always some side stuff to do in One Piece arcs, unless there's actually a straightforward arc where the goal is very straightforward, like Marineford or Enies, Enies Lobby and Arlong and yada yada. Like there's no side missions. It's fucking like we gotta do this. We gotta take out gotta do this shit. So number 3 is going to be the worst generation, right? And the worst generation, very simply put, is when we have not Blackbeard, when we have the Straw Hat crew talking to Brownbeard after he's being captured and shit, and Brownbeard, he's talking about how like he hates people from Luffy's generation, except for Law, because Law, he's actually he's a part on their team. Law, even though Law saw Luffy and he didn't do shit to Luffy, that's a key point. Brownbeard believes that Law is on his side, and in a way he is. So the thing about this, well, what you have to realize is that the worst generation, according to Brownbeard, right, consists of Luffy, Zoro, the rest of the 11 Supernova, Kid, Hawkins, Drake, Scratch and Apu, and yada yada, and Blackbeard. And once these guys, except for Luffy, once these guys entered the new world, they created so much havoc and chaos on a daily basis where they were dubbed as the worst generation. And why is that? Because, well, it's very obvious, alright? The Supernova, especially in this case, according to Brownbeard, well, a part of the worst generation, these guys have been causing a lot of trouble, especially. And he mentions them. Blackbeard, Drake, Hawkins, Law, and Kid. Luffy was on hiatus. He was on a 2-year hiatus. Now, what's very important here is that the Yokon, and we all know this, the Yokon are the ones who establish stability in the new world. Not the Marines. Because the Marines, they can't, like, there's Marines, there's Marine Admirals, they're powerful as shit, they're top tier, and then there's the fucking Yokon. They're off the charts. We saw Whitebeard do his thing. Whitebeard, he's an old, sick man, and he is tilting freaking seas. His area of effect is like remember when he was tilting the seas and shit? And there are people on other parts of the world, people in the South Blue and North Blue, who were experiencing earthquakes in their own hometowns because of Whitebeard. Because he was like, fuck it, like, yeah, like he was just doing shit. He was doing shit. And the Marines can't fuck with the Yokon because they're too powerful. I mean, again, Shanks' hockey, that shit leaks out. And he's damaging structures just by being there. It's like, what the fuck? So, Big Man has subordinates that can destroy freaking islands and, be mad chill with that shit. Like, yeah, fuck it, it's cool. So, it shows you just how powerful they are. Or at least it hints at that. And the thing about this is that, the Marines, they can't fuck with the Yokon because they're just too powerful. So the Yokon are the one who actually maintains stability in the new world. However, the 11 Supernova, they said, nah, fuck that. And we know this, why? Because in the last arc, Baron Tamago mentioned how Captain Kidd was fucking around with Big Man ships. That's a problem. That's a fucking problem. So, and also, this is reiterated when Brownbeard talks about how Badger Hawkins was the one who took out his entire crew and actually paralyzed him from the waist down. Well, either paralyzed him, or he just made it so that he can't use his legs, or his legs were so damaged where he couldn't walk anymore. Either way, he was fucked. And I mean, that's the way it is. Now, and then, yeah, so that's it. Like that is the worst generation. That's it. The worst generation are the people who comprise of the 11 Supernovas plus Blackbeard. They go into the new world. They made a lot of chaos and havoc, and that's what it is. So that's number 3. And finally, part 4 is going to be the Brownbeard story, and the only thing that's relevant in the Brownbeard story, because even though he said that it was Vegapunk who made the explosion, we already know. No, it was Caesar Clown. The only thing that's important in this actual story of Brownbeard is that there were prisoners there, and the prisoners were subjected. They were basically they got experimented on. They got experimented on by scientists Probably mainly Caesar Clown, because he is a sick motherfucker. And then Caesar Clown caused the explosion. Now in the story he says Vegapunk, but no, it was Caesar Clown. And then the once lush island of Punk Hazard became a wasteland. Well, actually, it was probably called something else beforehand, but whatever, not important. It became a wasteland full of toxins in the air and atmosphere, and then the Marines left. The prisoners got paralyzed from the waist down. Caesar Clown comes in there, I'm your savior, I'm your master, and that's how he subjugates these prisoners into serving him. He basically makes them mobile. And after that, Brownberry comes in there, he gets the same treatment. Then after Brownberry comes Law. Law comes in there after the fight. And that's the one thing in the story that I found very, very strange. Because the way it seems as if, like the way, he said it. Actually, no, that is the case. Like the case is that after Brownbeard gets there, Aokiji and Akainu, they have their battle. And they do their thing. The island gets split in half, volcanic one side, Ice Mountain the other side. And then Law comes in after that. Because when we see Law come in, it's already snowing. Whereas when Brownbeard comes in there, it's a wasteland of poison gas and stuff. So we already know that Law comes in after the fight. And Law gives these people who can't walk half animal parts so they can actually move around freely without these bubbles. And that's what it is. So I mean, that's the Brownbeard story. That's important stuff. And the main point about his story is to try and what's that word? Try and totemize, meaning that he's trying to. Actually, no, wrong word. No. That's for inanimate objects. But still, the fact is that he's putting Caesar Clown on a pedestal because Caesar Clown saved their lives. He gave them freedom. He gave them the ability to walk around, and they weren't so miserable. And they would have died had he not subsided the poison in the actual atmosphere. However, we already know this guy's evil as fuck. So it shows you the strength that these subordinates have to Caesar Clown. That's number one. And number two about a story that's also very important is that it gives you an idea of what the conditions were on the island pre-hand. And that's it. That's the episode. So I'm done. King Lightning. That's the episode. That's it. We're done. Now, part 3. I need to backtrack. Part 3, I'll give a good. Part 4, I'll give an okay. Actually, no. Part 4, I'll give a subpar because the story mainly it was conflicting because it was negated. Most of the story was negated because of what Smoker says at the end of the episode. So yeah. So basically, in a sense, kind of a waste of time when it came to Brownbeard because in actuality, we don't really give a flying fuck as to what Brownbeard's doing because he's Brownbeard. We don't care. But knowing that Law was the one, because we already assumed that Law was responsible for making these weird centaurs. But now it's confirmed, yeah, in fact, he was the one. He was the one. So we all know. And that's it. That's it. So part 3, I'll give a good. Part 4 gets subpar. So we have a good subpar overall. Good, because we have a good that makes subpar that goes to okay with another good gets to okay plus, and then another good for okay plus gets a good. So it's good. We're good. We're good. So this is a good episode of One Piece, and I'm done. King Lightning. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day.